Welcome back to part 3 of my jig build. Managed to get onto this a lot sooner than I expected to. Cancelled plans for Bank Holiday Monday meant I could do some more work on it a couple of days after the last video. So I didn't do any talking at all through this one. I just got stuck in and cracked on with it, in part because the neighbours were outside and in part because I'd just gone out and got stuck in. So where I left off yesterday, I'd run out of welding wire. Been to Machine Mart this morning and got some more. So first job's to tack in the rearmost pivot. So that's all tacked in now. I've got to unbolt the whole assembly from the boot of the car, get it on the floor and get it welded up, and then we'll get it all bolted back in again. I had a lot of trouble with this, with getting the welder working right today. I've never, when I've changed welding wire in the past, it's always been quite like for like. When I've took the old wire out, put the new wire in, just carried on. But this was different wire I used this time. The wire I used last time was from Amazon, and that seemed to just work perfectly all the time. But I seemed to spend all my time checking settings and playing with settings on the welder, and it just didn't feel or sound right, and it didn't look right. There was a lot more spatter this time, so I don't quite know what I've done differently. It's the same size wire. I assume it's just different wire is more difficult to weld with, or doesn't weld so nicely, or something like that. So I've ordered some of the same wire I used last time, so when that comes, I'll probably take this reel out and swap it over. As you can hear, the welding's nowhere near as nice, and you'll see me play around with the welding settings. I'll leave you with a bit of music now. that's all the structural bits welded up now on that. I spent a little bit of time that I've cut out for you trying to work out what to do across the top pieces of load spreading or whatever, but where the two uprights go into the parcel shelf, it's quite far back, so I didn't have a lot of room to put anything to spread. So I've got two, they're about 2-inch square washers, about 5mm thick. So I've welded an M10 nut, which is what I'm doing now, to the back side of them. And then I weld them to the top of the upright, so that the nut's inside the upright, which gives me a nice flat spread surface to then drill through the parcel shelf and bolt through. I've done another little video I'll show you at the end when it's all bolted in the car, so you can see how they work. But for these I just put a piece of threaded bar through the nut, held it onto the washer and welded the nuts to the flat plates. Done one for each upright. Now I've turned the frame upside down and welding the washers onto the bottom. To start with, I ended up causing a little bit of a flame there, which I soon put out, but then when I lifted my mask up after doing that, I realised I was melting the carpet quite considerably, and it's quite messy and oily and I didn't really fancy a fire. So after I'd nearly fully welded the first one, I thought I'd better stick a bit of plate underneath to just keep the crud out of the weld and to not set fire to the carpet, because it's never really a good idea welding on carpet anyway. I should have stripped all the carpet out and painted the garage floor before I started this project, but hindsight's a wonderful thing, isn't it? So I'll just weld these uprights onto these washers onto the uprights, and that's that frame assembly complete, and it can be bolted back into the car. So I've not recorded a great deal today. I just had a kind of get stuck in kind of a day. Sorry about the stuff everywhere, I've just pulled the door down. You can see I finished the rear part of the jig. The light's not very good at this end of the garage. Put a bit of paint on it, it's not great, but there's a nut and bolt through the top over there. That goes straight through the pole all the way down into the bottom section. So it's nut and bolted to hold that pole steady. I've fastened a scaffold clamp on the end here. If I just loosen that off, obviously the front's still mounted on stands or whatever. With that free, you can start to get an idea of things rotating. I don't want to rotate it much because my bike's there and my fiberglass front's over there. So good news. Rear part of the jig's done. I can move on to the front part now. You can see underneath it's stood on the jig at the back, so those axle stands can now be used for something useful, not just propping up the Mini. A couple of comments on, I changed my the wire today in the welder. I bought a roll of wire from Machine Mart this morning, and it doesn't I feel, I don't know if this is a thing, but doesn't feel like it welds anywhere near as good as the roll I had before, which I got from Amazon, which I've already ordered 2 more of those. They're not coming till next week, and I just is that really a thing? Can one roll of wire feel like it welds better than another? It certainly doesn't seem as good as the last one, so I'll just keep going with that until I lose my temper with it and it's all gone, and put one of the new ones that's coming in when it comes. So it's good news. The last part, the first part of the jig is done. So bit of a surprise video this one. I didn't expect to have the time to work on it today. Bank holiday Monday, but I did. So thanks again guys for watching, and hopefully the next part, which will be part 4, I'll have the front end built, or get that built, and then the Mini will be fully on a jig. Just got to find somewhere to put all the stuff that's been stacking up in there and up there. Yeah, lots of stuff. Get them seats out. See you later.